Welcome to GTM's tax automation series on one-source tax provision functionality. In this session, we will be going through the payables and the functionality around that area. So let's just jump right in. So the payables module, the setup of this area is in the administration area, and it allows you to create a roll up or a roll forward that's at the detail level. So the areas we're going to focus on today are the payable transaction types, the payable roll-ups, and the payable buckets. And all of these items are needed when you're entering any data into the payables area in the review and edit screen via data entry, or if you are importing things. So at the very highest level, payable buckets in essence represent your tax accounts. So whether that be your federal payable or your foreign or your state payable, then the roll-ups are technically your groupings of activity. So is it cash related? Is it related to the return to provision or the regular provision? Is it related to any kind of payments or liabilities related to audits, etc.? And then your transaction types represent the activity itself. So that's the most granular level of detail, such as like your federal extension payments. So if I jump into the software, we're just going to go into the tax provision and we will go to the administration area, which is where the setup is for the payables. And in the manage payable area, you will see those three items I was discussing. So if we go into your manage payable buckets, these can be anything that you determine that you want to track from your accounts perspective. As you can see here, we've got a variety of things. We've got foreign and federal payable and state. We also have FIN 48. So if you want to track the FIN 48 liability within the income tax payable module, that is also an option. We also have the generic liability bucket that comes with the software, and barring anything else, most things will post to the liability bucket or the provision bucket. Going to our roll-ups, we've got our standard BBAL, EST provision, reclass typically comes standard out of the box with the software, but you can add additional things that you would like to put in as well. And these will be viewed either in a vertical view and potentially a columnar view if you want, depending on the report that is run. And then we go to our transaction type. And there are a variety of transaction types that come out of the box in OTP. But as you can see, you have a transaction type, and that itself is then linked to a roll-up. So we've got a variety of estimated payments or extension payments. These roll up to cash. We've got some other adjustments in that we're putting in. These roll up to the ADJ or reclass. So once you create a brand new transaction type, you must associate it with a roll-up. In the review and edit screen, if we go into the payable entry area, you will see that anything that is entered requires you to put a transaction type. So is it your beginning balance or provision posting? This is an auto posting. Where does the roll-up go? And as we just saw, that will attach to the transaction type. And then your transaction bucket. So that's your foreign payable or your federal payable. We really want to try to stay away from the liability posting because that does not give as much detail into what the actual account is. So if we take a look at a report, one of my favorite reports is in the payable detail area. There's an option that will give you your transaction types, and you can see it has it by buckets, current and prior year buckets. And one of the beauties of doing the bucket breakout, it allows you to be able to run your federal and state together, because if you've got your federal and state bucket set up separately, the items will drop into those individual columns. If you are using the liability bucket and you run the federal and state filter together, you will not be able to determine when the report is run what activity related to federal and what activity related to state. So let's just go ahead and run the report. And as you'll be able to see, you have your buckets going across, so your various accounts, starting with your beginning balance and all of the activity rolling through to your ending balance. With your breakouts by roll-ups. So you've got your adjustments. What's in my adjustments? I've got a FIN 48B buildup. I have some generic code for adjustments. I've got a payable proof true up. Then I have all of my cash activity. And then I've got all my things coming over from the system auto posting that I know was related to the actual income tax provision for the year or prior year adjustments. I even have an inter-year reclass and transfer. So this allows you to see the various things. In the payable roll forward, there's also another report. That's year bucket breakout with roll-ups. And this one allows you to see your breakout of the buckets by year. So vintage year as you enter the data into the system. This one is useful in allowing you to see if your tax years basically close out. Hope this was helpful. Look forward to seeing you on another series.